Teenage Wrist, Earth is a Black Hole album review. Let's go. Hey guys, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning, here tonight to chat about this new Teenage Wrist album. They are an LA-based band. I first came across them around the time of their Dazed EP, which I thought this band had a lot going for them. I liked their approach to shoegaze, which brought in sounds of modern emo. They had a solid sound, but at the time I wasn't too crazy about some of the vocals. However, they won me over with 2018's Chrome Neon Jesus, which honestly became one of my favorite rock albums of the year. This was just such an absolute treat. The performances were sort of spacey. I loved the hazy production, and they just had a knack for writing very catchy songs. Now, 2019's Counting Flies EP was fine. No, really, it was fine. It did show them kind of branching away from the shoegaze genre, though. Maybe going in a little bit more of a straightforward direction, which, in my book, kind of saw them take a step forward, but also a step back in some respects for a very fine EP. Now, for the most part, though, they've been dropping some pretty decent singles leading to this new album. This album starts off with the Squeeze intro. Now, it is a little chaotic and messy at times. You could chalk that up mostly to the weird vocal snippets that are put in. But honestly, I think it actually works for Teenage Wrist. And hearing that roaring riff come in as well, which is pretty epic, just works for me. I mean, I think there's a lot better material here and a lot better sounds, but for me, for the moment, it actually gives me the chills. Not only that, but it pumps me up for this album. Then we get Taste of Gasoline, which I can't say no to. I've loved this single for months. Now, it's not as hazy and washed out and blatantly stoned as anything on Chrome Neon Jesus. But this is just nothing short of a really well-crafted and genuinely catchy alternative rock tune. The production is great. I love the chorus. Not only that, but Teenage Wrist absolutely do sound more confident. They sound like a band that's on their fourth album, not their second. And yes, you can argue that this is trapped in the early 90s. You're not far off. But I would be lying to say that I didn't fall for it completely and eat it up. This track is great. I have a lot of the same feelings on New Emotion. Now, I have to point this out. I feel like Teenage Wrist have taken a slight step back from the shoegaze genre and are putting their more emo foot forward. But for this track, it works. They're doing it well. They are coming to bat with a new sense of confidence and passion. Plus, like I said, they just have a knack for writing very catchy tunes. It's a lot more immediate than their previous material, and a whole lot more inviting, too. Yellow Belly, on the other hand, is probably the most shoegaze-oriented track here, and honestly, it's a damn good one. It's just very grandiose, very heavy. It's got a fantastic amount of reverb here, but it also has the emotional potency as like the rest of this album. I do feel like Teenage Wrist missed the mark at some points. I mean, there are some really rough tracks on here. For example, Wear You Down. Overall, this is a pretty emotional album, but this is a misfire. Here we go from genuinely emotional and sobering to really freaking goofy very fast. And Wasting Time, I thought I was going to be into. It's much more immediate, it's much more throttling and upbeat. I haven't heard anything like this from Teenage Wrist, but personally, I don't like it. Some of the verses are okay, but this chorus is completely overblown, and the continuing guitar solos towards the end just seem really out of place. And Earth is a Black Hole, this album's title track, made me worry about this album from a distance. It's really not one of the better low-key tracks here, and this chorus is absolutely awful, and this riff sounds like a bad nu metal riff. If you're into this, that's fine. I certainly see, something to enjoy here, but for me, I feel like Teenage Wrist aren't being themselves for a few minutes. While not nearly as consistent as Chrome Neon Jesus, though, I think this album is still a very likable modern shoegaze and emo album. Silver Spoon I've loved since I first heard it. I think it's the best track here. The chugging riff on this one could have been really cheesy and really awful, but it comes off really great, and the lyrics are some of the most vibrant and easy to comprehend here. As far as vocals go, don't even get me started. These are the best on the album. And High Again from a Distance, I thought I was going to absolutely despise. It's weird because we practically get some down-tempo vibes on some of these instrumentals. And yes, it is very cheesy and even more overblown. I don't know, I actually am kind of into it. Look, Teenage Wrist own this track, and the vocals are just as passionate as overblown as everything else here, but I think it's fun. For a deep cut, I think this actually works a lot. And as a finale, Stella, as a ballad, I think is really nice too. It's got that great hazy feel to it. It just sounds so burned out. It's a little sappy for sure, but I think it works with their sound. For a few short minutes, I really feel like everything's in its right place. The instrumental here really adds to this atmosphere, and the vocals are really passionate too. Not only that, but we get a surprisingly epic conclusion. Yeah, this is another very solid release from Teenage Wrist. I was worried about this album from the direction of their last EP, and some of the singles got me down as well, but these guys have a knack for writing very catchy, instantaneous shoegaze and emo tracks. Now, I will say this, there are some misfires here that show them kind of stepping away from the sound that I really loved about their last album, and that worries me. But for now, I'm kind of immune to this band's sound still, and this is another very decent, overly decent even, release from Teenage Wrist. I'm feeling a strong 7 on this thing, but let me know what you guys think down below. If you liked the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, guys.